Connie Willis, the podcast. Taking you into new ways of thinking, even providing answers to questions you've often pondered. Connie Willis, the podcast. This is a Connie Willis exclusive. Whistleblower. What you're about to hear has never been heard anywhere else. This is Connie Willis, the podcast.
Let's get back to our exclusive conversation with Robert Treat, private military, government contractor, and U.S. Navy Special Warfare veteran. He is here with a deathbed confession. You can help him. His GoFundMe is in the description below. He will be recognized as an informant and a whistleblower, here to tell us why the ET are here and who they are.
Informant.
The first Primarch that came here, this was the first one that found this planet. I mean, they explore the universe the same way, we would. They have an exploratory nature. Everything that we feel that is good and reaching out and wanting to know our universe in its entirety, for the beauty of it, not for the power of it or the exploitation of it, but for the sake of knowing, just, being a part of creation, and they say, we're co-creators, and that's true. We create our reality through our thoughts, but there was a first one that came here, sometime in the ancient dark history. And when I said earlier that they created us with the stock that they had on hand. So they likely encountered, either a species of monkey that we're not aware of, or most likely, an early Homo sapien as opposed to Neanderthal, because all the stories really do seem to originate, out of the Iraqi, Sumer, Middle East area. Since that borders Africa, my assumption, I don't know this for a fact, this is just my assumption, that they were probably created out of some early human stock, still dragging his knuckles pretty much.
Hey, I went to culinary school, and what the master chefs would tell us, all the chefs would say, hey, your food is as good as your ingredients.
Exactly.
There you go.
And this is where the problem really begins.
What were they thinking? Come on.
It's just like Californian tourists, when they go on vacation to a nice spot, they want to buy a house there, right? So they build some big $1 million mansion. The next thing you know, you got 50 of them. Okay. And now the area is ruined. Natural beauty that was there is now gone. It's big houses.
They're living on top of each other. It's cost a lot of money.
And why have a $6 million house in the country if there's no Nordstroms? We need a Nordstrom. So they built that too. And before you know it, there's no country left. The forest is gone. The jungles are burned down. Right?
And it's everybody else's fault.
So one Primarch comes here, and it's his little garden. He creates his little perfect world. Well, more come, and they settle other territories around the world. And this is where we get the other races from, because they created species. They said, let's create man in our own image. Well, when you hybridize an ape creature with gray DNA, you get us. Mm. And so this is why. This is how they're able to communicate and mind control and know you. And when people describe when they're being taken, they're paralyzed and these things are speaking in your head. It's because it's part of what Einstein postulated: spooky action is a distance. Their DNA is in you. Okay. When they react, you react. When you react, they react. They experience what you experience, and you can experience what they experience. See, it's a two-way street, but we're only utilizing it like a one-way road. So because their DNA is the core of our DNA, we are destined to evolve into their level of things, right? And since we're destined to evolve into their level of things, we are going to end up with the power that they have, right? And they exist in what science, what science postulates. I've heard it called fifth time, right? Where as soon as you think it, the energy of thought transforms into the energy of mass, and what you think you create instantly. If you do not have the ability to filter out all the horrible things, if you think about killing somebody, they're dead.
Yeah.
It happened because you thought it. You want a hamburger? Boom, it's right there. You think it is. Right? Because you can repurpose energy into whatever you need it to be.
And you can get a hamburger without having to go through the calf growing up, getting the meat, slaughter, all that kind of stuff, going through the processing show, going to your local supermarket to pick up the meat and fry it, all that kind of thing, right? It's
Yeah.
just there without any of the other stuff.
Yeah. And that's
And where does it say? That says that in the Bible too. It talks about be careful of your thoughts.
If you do it in your head, you've done it in real life.
Yeah.
And I've read a lot of rabbinical teachings, and the other writings from Baal Shem Tov and others who put it in very primitive terms, like that there's other us and other dimensions all acting out different roles, and it's a very primitive understanding of it. But that's
basically it. If you think it, it's going to happen. So don't, it's always like, don't have bad thoughts because it'll happen.
We are all connected, and it's not that there's other yous that you're affecting. It's your energy, because we're all of the same genetic stock. We're all one. Okay, so why does hatred grow exponentially? You can put 100 people in a room. One guy's pissed off, and 2 are pissed off, and 4 are pissed off. Pretty soon, the whole room's fighting.
Well, why was it created in the first place?
I don't know. The dualistic nature of things.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's go back to, all right, you're working with these companies. You have this bad situation with the bad grays.
Yes.
And you're like, uh-oh. And then you're starting to have this awakening of who you might be, what's happening around you. You're starting to put the pieces of the puzzle together, where normally, that's what I always hear. Hey, you only have a need to know. So somebody could be building a TV, and one person puts one part in, then it goes to the next place, and another person puts another part in, but nobody ever sees the whole of it. So now you're starting to see the whole of what you've been a part of, right?
Yeah, it was an eye-opening experience, because when you only live one side of the story and then you experience the other side, then it's very eye-opening. The same reason why when a bully first gets punched, he stops being a bully.
Is that what it takes?
Sometimes you have to see. Sometimes, you have to get hit with the other side. And when I encountered the fallen, after all of my experiences being with the other ones, it made the contrast so very stark.
Oh, I see. Going from the really nice ones to the mean ones.
Yeah, the contrast was so dramatic and so stark that everything I saw in the world from then on was marked by that. I saw the duality everywhere. I began to see the deception everywhere around me, and I began to start waking up to the things that I've been working on, and that came into even a bigger reality when, after the my position with Troika was coming to an end. Of continuing on with them, but I was asked by Glenn to do something special.
This is a Connie Willis exclusive on Connie Willis, the podcast.
My position with Troika was coming to an end. Of continuing on with them, but I was asked by Glenn to do something special. He'd gotten word that one of the what they call the Illuminati groups, the elites, the people who really run the world. This is where I discovered who really ran the world, by the way. This very ancient order, very old order, going back to medieval times, Crusades, in fact. their minister of finance was sick with osteoarthritis, and he had to have surgery and was going to be bedridden for a while. So I was asked if I would go in for 6 months and be their interim minister of finance. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that.
That's kind of what you've been doing on all the projects, right?
Yeah, I mean, I understood how money worked, and the pay was good, and I really was attracted to that. So I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. So I went to Atlanta, and they put me up at on the concierge floor of the Renaissance Hotel, really nice hotel. Gave me a Jeep Navigator to drive, and a big fat expense account, and all I had to do was, keep my ears open and report back.
What you just heard has never been heard anywhere else. This is Connie Willis, the podcast. Informant. Learn more about Connie, her guests, and be sure to join her private membership shows, Blue Rock Talk and Connie After Dark, at ConnieWillis.com. Whistleblower.